Nazi had been counting on winter weather, and he knew just where he could make it pay off. In the middle of our line, stretching about 85 miles, was the Ardennes forest. To its north, we had 2 divisions. There were 2 more in the south. We were using the Ardennes as a combined training and rest area. The Nazi knew that, too. His tanks and forces had been massed under tightest security in concealed areas. Now he lashed out. It was a now or never gamble. With his dwindling reserves of equipment and toughened veterans from the Russian campaigns, he aimed to split us in 2 and drive on to retake Antwerp. He caught us off balance, and we paid for it. Once again, the natives were leaving their farms with everything they could carry. The Nazi planning didn't include rations. They were that desperate. They'd live off the land till they could stock up from our warehouses at Liège and Rheims. That's where he headed, punching a bulge into our thinly held line. Outside a little town nobody'd ever heard of, named Bastogne, we dug in. For Bastogne commanded the highways to those cities. We dug in and held 24 hours a day while we waited for relief. There weren't any more cooks, company clerks, bakers. Only fighting men. Maybe a few managed some holiday spirit, but for most of us it was just another day on the job. A soldier's job. The job was going to get tougher. And so was the weather. Communications were disrupted. Supply lines cut. Contact between units was lost. And there were units that were lost, too. There was no telling where the enemy had been or where he was going to be. He'd even infiltrated with specially trained fighters. They wore our uniform and spoke our language. So we asked trick questions. Who won the World Series? What was Betty Grable's last film? That did it. And because they were spies, did for them too. The weather had been on the enemy's side, but time was on ours, so we held on. Then one beautiful day, never mind the weather, a whole armored division from 3rd Army broke through to relieve us. The enemy's bid for Bastogne was ended. Now we could get back on the offensive. He could still hit us for losses, but the steam was gone from his counterpunch. He could delay us, but that's all. The Bulge was shrinking fast. The Wehrmacht's strength was melting, and so were the snow and ice that had helped. Thaws could slow us down, but the break in weather brought another kind of break. Clearing strong skies brought us air support. Units that couldn't be reached over truck routes, units cut off by enemy action could now get rations, medical supplies, equipment of all kinds by airdrop. More important, air action could help us smash resistance and help pitch the Nazi back onto his own soil. Besides the ones who hot-footed it back to the fatherland to fight another day, there were the lucky ones who wouldn't. Then again, there were the unlucky ones who couldn't. What about us? Well, we'd won our battle. The Battle of the Bulge. And now we just get on with the job of soldiering. There'd be towns to take. We took them. Then there'd be a river called the Rhine. We crossed it.